Every 11 seconds, a woman over 65 is treated for a fall injury. Not every 11 minutes. Every 11 seconds. And most of those women had warning signs for months. They just did not know what they were looking at. Today, I am giving you a 4-week protocol that reduces fall risk by up to 35%. No gym, no equipment, starts in your kitchen. But here is what makes this different from anything you have seen before. Your balance problem is not about weak muscles. It is about a hormone. And once you understand that, the 4 weeks make complete sense. I will explain the hormone connection in 2 minutes. First, let me tell you about a woman whose story might sound very familiar. I want to tell you about a woman I'll call Rosa. Rosa is 67. She is active. She gardens. She walks. She visits her grandchildren regularly. She thinks of herself as a healthy and capable woman. But over the past 2 years, something has been quietly changing. She stumbles on uneven ground more than she used to. She has to concentrate on stairs in a way she never did before. She noticed she now holds the railing every time, when before she never bothered. She reached for a high kitchen shelf last winter and felt a sudden lurch in her balance that genuinely frightened her. She caught herself, said nothing to anyone, and then stood in her kitchen for a moment, heart beating a little too fast, wondering when that had started happening. She told me once, "I feel like my balance is not quite where I expect it to be. Like the ground isn't always exactly where my foot thinks it will be. I don't feel old in my head or in my energy, but my balance feels older than I do, and I don't know what to do about it." Rosa does not have an inner ear condition. She does not have a neurological problem. What Rosa has is a hormonal gap that most women her age have, and that almost nobody in a routine appointment takes the time to explain. If that moment on the stairs sounds familiar to you, hit subscribe right now. Because what I am about to explain changes how you think about your body's sense of where it is in space. Here is what is actually happening, and I want you to hear this clearly, because it is not the explanation most people give. Your balance does not come from one system. It comes from 3 systems working together simultaneously, like 3 musicians playing the same piece of music. Your inner ear tracks movement and head position. Your eyes give you spatial reference, and your proprioceptive system, which most people have never heard the name of, tells your brain exactly where every part of your body is in space at every moment. It does this through thousands of tiny sensors embedded in your muscles, joints, and tendons. Every step you take, every shift of your weight, every micro-movement, these sensors are reporting your body's position back to your brain in real time. When all 3 systems are working together well, balance happens automatically. You do not think about it. When one or more of them becomes less precise, you start to notice. You reach for walls. You hesitate on stairs. You feel that lurch. Here is what almost nobody knows. All 3 of these systems contain estrogen receptors. Estrogen is not just a reproductive hormone. It is actively involved in maintaining the sensitivity of your vestibular system in your inner ear, the precision of your proprioceptive sensors in your joints and muscles, and the responsiveness of the balance centers in your brain. When estrogen declines after menopause, all 3 balance systems lose a key regulatory signal at the same time. Your inner ear becomes slightly less sensitive to movement. The sensors in your joints and muscles send slightly less precise information. Your brain's balance center receives less sharp inputs to work with. None of these changes are dramatic on their own. Together, they create exactly what Rosa described. The ground not being quite where your foot expected it to be. A study published in the journal Menopause found that postmenopausal women had significantly worse postural stability than premenopausal women of similar fitness levels, and that this difference was most pronounced in conditions that reduced one of the 3 balance systems, such as standing with eyes closed. The research confirmed what clinicians had been observing for years. Menopause specifically compromises balance through the same hormonal mechanism that affects so many other systems. Here is the encouraging part. These three systems respond to training even after they have weakened. Balance is a skill. Skills can be relearned, retrained, and sharpened at any age. What the estrogen decline did was quiet the signal. Exercise turns the signal back up. The 4-week protocol I am about to share specifically targets all three balance systems, one layer at a time, progressively. Each week builds directly on the previous one. And I want to prepare you for something before we start. Week 3 is the hardest. It is also the week that produces the most noticeable change in real life. When you get there, do not skip it, even if it feels challenging at first. That difficulty is exactly the point. Week 1. Single leg standing. This is the foundation. It directly trains your proprioceptive system, the joint and muscle sensors that tell your brain where your body is in space. These sensors respond to challenge. When you stand on one leg, you force them to work continuously, recalibrating with every tiny wobble. How to do it? Stand behind your kitchen chair or beside a counter. Hold on lightly with one hand for safety. Lift one foot just off the floor, keeping the raised foot near the standing ankle. Hold for 10 seconds. Switch sides. That is one set. Do 5 sets on each side, twice a day. Every day of week 1. The goal is not to be still. Your body will wobble. That wobble is the training. The small corrections your body makes to maintain balance are what stimulate and strengthen the proprioceptive sensors. Do not use a wall to stop the wobble. Let it happen and let your body respond. By the end of week 1, most women notice they can hold the position noticeably longer with less effort than on day 1. That improvement happens in the proprioceptive system, not just the muscles. Week 2. Heel-to-toe walking. This week, you add gait training. Walking in a straight heel-to-toe line, each step placing the heel of your front foot directly in front of the toes of your back foot, challenges your balance in motion in a way that everyday walking does not. How to do it? Find a clear stretch of floor, a hallway, or a kitchen. Walk heel to toe for 10 steps forward, turn slowly, and walk back. Do this for 2 minutes, twice a day, every day of week 2. Continue your single leg stands from week 1 alongside this. Heel-to-toe walking specifically trains the integration between your proprioceptive system and your visual system. Your brain learns to combine the input from your feet with the input from your eyes more efficiently. This is the integration that is often compromised after 60. After 2 weeks of both exercises, the coordination between your three balance systems begins to recover. Week 3. Add head movement during standing balance. This is the week that usually produces the most noticeable change, and the one that addresses the vestibular system, the inner ear component of your balance. How to do it? Return to your single leg stand from week 1. But now, instead of keeping your head still, slowly turn your head to the right while holding the balance. Then slowly to the left. Then slowly tilt your chin slightly down. Then back up, all slowly, all in control. Do this for 30 seconds on each leg, twice a day. Moving your head while balancing on one leg forces your vestibular system and your proprioceptive system to communicate and integrate simultaneously. This is exactly the demand that the inner ear faces in real life. When you turn your head to look at something while walking, when you glance over your shoulder on the stairs. Training this integration directly reduces the lag that causes that lurching, unsteady moment. This is the week most women feel genuinely different during everyday movement. The stairs feel more natural. Getting up from a chair feels more controlled. The ground feels more reliably where the foot expects it. Week 4. Add an unstable surface. This final week increases the proprioceptive challenge significantly, which accelerates the training of your joint and muscle sensors. How to do it? Fold a bath towel twice to create a soft, slightly unstable surface. Place it on the floor beside your chair or counter. Stand on it with both feet first for 30 seconds to get used to the sensation. Then try your single leg stand on the folded towel. Hold for 10 seconds each side. Do 3 sets on each side, twice a day. Continue your heel-to-toe walks on firm ground. The unstable surface dramatically increases the demand on your proprioceptive sensors. Every tiny movement requires more precise sensing and more precise correction. 4 weeks of progressively increasing that demand produces measurable improvements in balance that extend well into everyday life. A clinical review published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzed multiple randomized trials of balance training in women over 60 and found that progressive balance exercise programs reduced fall risk by between 23 and 35% across multiple studies. These were not dramatic athletic programs. They were gentle, progressive, daily practice of exactly the kind of exercises I have just described. Before we go back to Rosa, 2 things that quietly undermine balance even while women are doing these exercises. First, medications. Many common medications in women over 60, including some blood pressure medications, sleep aids, and antihistamines, affect the vestibular system or proprioceptive response as a side effect. If you are doing these exercises consistently and see no improvement at all after 2 weeks, have a conversation with your doctor about whether any of your medications may be affecting your balance and whether alternatives exist. Second, footwear at home. Most falls happen at home, and many happen in socks or soft slippers on smooth floors. Socks on smooth floors provide almost no proprioceptive feedback and essentially eliminate your grip. Wearing shoes or grippy-soled slippers in your home, even for the training exercises, means your proprioceptive sensors are receiving accurate ground information at all times. Do not do balance exercises in socks on a smooth floor. Let's go back to Rosa. She started week 1 the morning after a conversation where someone finally explained the hormonal component of what she was experiencing. She said later that knowing the reason made a difference to how seriously she took the exercises. "I thought I was just getting clumsy," she told me. "I didn't know my balance system had lost a signal and that I could actually give it something back." She did the single-leg stands every morning at her kitchen counter. By the end of week 2, walking heel-to-toe down her hallway had gone from effortful to something approaching normal. By week 3, the head movement component surprised her. "That's the one that felt hard," she said, "and that's the one where I felt the most change in real life. I noticed it on the stairs first." 4 weeks later, she described something small but meaningful. She stepped off a curb onto uneven ground and her body corrected without her having to think about it. That automatic correction, which had quietly disappeared over 2 years, had come back. Not completely, but noticeably, and growing. So here is what I want you to do today. Not tomorrow. Today. Stand beside your kitchen chair. Lift 1 foot off the floor. Hold for 10 seconds. Switch. That is the beginning of week 1. The whole protocol starts with 10 seconds. Give it those 10 seconds today and then do it again tomorrow. Leave a comment telling me whether balance has quietly become a concern for you and whether you had ever heard about the hormonal reason behind it. Reading what other women share here often helps more than any single video. And share this with every woman you know over 60. Fall risk is one of the most serious health topics in this age group and one of the least openly discussed. The information that prevents injury is the information that gets shared. Subscribe for more honest, practical conversations like this one. I'll see you in the next video. One more thought before you close this video. Balance training is one of the most undervalued forms of exercise for women over 60. It does not burn many calories. It does not build dramatic visible muscle. It does not feel like a workout in the conventional sense. But the research on its impact on quality of life, independence, and injury prevention is stronger than almost any other single intervention in this age group. 20 minutes a day for 4 weeks. The cost of doing it is small. The cost of not doing it, for some women, has been everything. Please do not wait for a frightening moment to start. And if you make it to week 3 and it feels harder than weeks 1 and 2, good. That difficulty is the signal that the right system is being challenged. Do not stop there. And if you make it to week 3 and it feels harder than weeks 1 and 2, good. That difficulty is the signal that the right system is being challenged. Do not stop there. Balance training is one of the most undervalued forms of exercise for women over 60. It does not burn many calories. It does not feel like a workout. But the research on its impact on independence and injury prevention is stronger than almost any other single intervention in this age group. 20 minutes a day for 4 weeks. Please do not wait for a frightening moment to start.